a wonderful balance. That is, you're having a good high rate of growth of the GDP, and there is a low inflation which is being held at that kind of a level for continuously some time. I'll get into the details. This kind of a unique balance, high growth and low inflation, and that is why, not an observation made by the ministry, but I think the Reserve Bank of India had used the expression Goldilocks moment. It is not something which the ordinary citizen of India is going to relate to as a terminology. But it is a rare moment, is something which all of us can recognize, and it is not by fluke or some rare coincidence that we've arrived here. Tremendous effort, granular details in planning, and timely action that we can continuously do as a government has been undertaken, and I will elaborate it as I go down when I'm talking further on this topic. So that kind of an ideal condition for sustained growth, inclusive development, and maintaining a balance of our inflation. At one point in time, there are people who commented to me saying, shouldn't the inflation be a bit higher than what it is? Because for good growth, you need that. And that's where this whole debate about real growth versus actual growth and so on. So it is a rare moment for us. And it gives us, therefore, the confidence for planning for the next decade, 2 decades, let us say, till we reach Viksit Bharat 2047. And therefore, this budget, whilst recognizing the external challenges and the kind of situations of uncertainty which prevails all over, still has had the advantage to be able to give that kind of a lead to the common public that this has the direction, the challenges prevail, but our destination is Viksit Bharat. Therefore, how to keep that growth at a level which is sustainable and at that highest level that we've reached. So that is the backdrop with which this budget has been prepared. Sir, the National Statistical Office gave the first advanced estimate. The real GDP growth there in that advanced estimate is projected at 7.4% for the year 25-26, with a nominal growth rate at around 8%, while CPI inflation has softened to nearly 2%. So this is that combination that I'm talking about of a strong growth. Price stability is really uncommon globally and reflects the strength of India's economic fundamentals. And this, I would place again, at the cost of repeating, is an achievement of the people of India. And there is no way anyone can decry saying, oh no, but this economy is probably dead, this economy is not really doing well. These kind of naysayers are only mocking at the people of India who are really doing their bit to contribute to India's growth. So the union budget, therefore, sir, in presenting 2026-27 budget, is designed to lock in these gains, convert these macroeconomic stability factors into long-term productive capacities, and to extend this growth trajectory into the coming decade as well. So in this, Atmanirbharta is an important element, and that principle of Atmanirbharta will be kept in mind in everything that we plan for the economy. We have built domestic manufacturing capacity, and that is very obvious. And energy security is also something which we've kept in our minds while preparing the budget. So we have also ensured that citizens also become Atmanirbhar in their own spheres of life. So ease of living, when we say that we've taken measures for ease of living, when we support employment generation, when we improve agricultural productivity, and when we increase the household's purchasing power. These are all conscious steps taken by us, resulting in these aspects of our life, and therefore all services will have to be now be available for all citizens so that they are able to chop their own course. So therefore in this budget you also see, sir, that to develop our human capital, we have set a target of creating 1 lakh allied health professionals over the next 5 years. And that scheme is supported by a total allocation of 1,000 crores for this year only, for these next 12 months. This will create employment opportunities in the health sector and also simultaneously improve the health services and promote medical tourism in this country, which is already being serviced by many hospitals, many cities. But now we want that to be very well established with good quality and standard at all levels. Sir, we are also establishing, and this is something which has been a part of one of the budget documents, the budget speech had an appendix, even there the details are given for all to see. We are establishing a high-powered education to employment and enterprise standing committee that will ensure our youth are ready for services sector, where we aim to capture nearly 10% of the global market by 2047. So this standing committee, I would want to take 1 minute to elaborate on what exactly is this standing committee going to be doing. The standing committee will prioritize on IT, fintech, logistics, healthcare, tourism, and also creative services. So when they prioritize on these sectors, because we are saying we will capture the global services sector to a level of about 10% by 2047. These are the probable sectors where a lot of service sector related entrepreneurship can develop, and for which the standing committee will prioritize on these sectors. They will look at closing the skill infrastructure and credit gaps. The standing committee and for digital regulation. It will help expand AI, cloud, and professional exports. These are areas in which we want exports to increase. Our people are capable of doing these things, remaining in India, and that kind of a global servicing will actually give them the export earnings because they will be exporting services. It will look at embedding AI curricula in teaching and methodologies and in teaching curricula and teacher training as well, and reskilling our engineers. So this committee, sir, will also look at ways in which formalize informal work. So informal work to be formalized, what are the ways in which they can do via digital credentials. So all your skilling, getting ready with people who are ready to become entrepreneurs would all now have a great value addition in their curricula with AI and digital learning as well. So if the budget is looking at services sector, we are also emphasizing on manufacturing sector. We will scale up manufacturing in 10 key areas. So manufacturing being given priority will be shown in the way in which these 10 sectors find a place in the budget and also have a clean plan for this year, for the next 5 years, and leading up to 2047. So what are those sectors? Biopharma. Launch of Biopharma Shakti with an outlay of 10,000 crores to make India a hub of biological medicines and biosimilars. Second, semiconductors. Launch of India Semiconductor Mission 2.0, the second edition, to produce equipment, materials, and design Indian IP. The electronics components manufacturing scheme has an outlay, and it has been increased to 40,000 crores. So that's the second, sir. The third, Rare earths, establishment of rare earth corridors in mineral-rich states like Odisha, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu for mining, processing, and manufacturing critical minerals. That's a third, sir. The fourth, a new scheme to set up 3 dedicated chemical parks to enhance domestic production and reduce imports. Fifth, capital goods, setting up of high-tech tool room in CPSEs and a new scheme for enhancement of construction and infrastructure equipment to manufacture high-value equipments like tunnel borers. And I've expanded during my speech that it need not just be on heavy machines which are used for laying roads or laying the metro, but also for today's urbanization, multi-storied apartments. Many of the operations are today becoming mechanized, street maintenance. For all of them, you need machines which have to be heavy-duty machines which have to be produced and made in India. But in the meanwhile, we've also allowed a certain level of imports for some of the components and machinery and for them to set their manufacturing here. Sixth, sir, container manufacturing. A dedicated scheme with an allocation of 10,000 crore to create a globally competitive container manufacturing ecosystem within India. Seventh, mentioned in the budget but not much spoken outside, sports goods, a dedicated initiative to promote the manufacturing of affordable sports goods. India is likely to host the Commonwealth Games. We are also going to be pitching for the Olympics. So Indian sportsmen need affordable but international class sports goods. So we will be promoting the manufacturing of such high quality sports equipments within India. Legacy clusters. So when we're talking about manufacturing in India and there are units which are being established, large production of frontier technology matters are also being considered, but does it mean that we'll forget the existing clusters where MSME had flourished over the decades? No. So we have said 200 legacy industrial clusters will now get rejuvenated. Their cost competitiveness will improve and also will help them to obtain technologies that they need. So legacy clusters will be made a lot more modern with AI and digital technology being made available to them. Ninth, textiles. An integrated program featuring Samarth 2.0 for skilling and also a textile expansion and employment scheme for modernization and setting up of mega textile parks is also part of this budget. So for MSMEs, we are creating champion MSMEs, meaning at least the medium-sized ones which have potential to grow bigger. We want to support them whilst equally supporting small, medium, nano enterprises, those who have the potential to grow. Last year, you would recall, sir, that we had expanded the limit for the definition of MSME itself by increasing the turnover limit so that a medium-sized industry doesn't have to fear that he might lose all the benefits that he gets by being an MSME if only he had the opportunity to grow by growing. So for such medium-sized industries, we want to help them to come out of it, but at the same time, without losing earlier comforts or the support system which existed for them. So for that, building champion MSMEs, the budget introduces 10,000 crore in the name of SME Growth Fund, Small Medium Enterprises Growth Fund, and mandates the TREADS platform for CPSEs to solve liquidity issues, because TREADS platform has given them how to ways in which they can monetize the bills that they've obtained, not really waiting for the final. But here we have emphasized now through this budget that all CPSEs will have to become part of the TREADS platform so that every bill gets paid in due time, or else the monetizing of it will happen. And that will set a precedent for private sector large firms also, which delay payments for the MSMEs, but getting onto the TREADS platform, it's all transparent and very clear for everybody to see that timely payments of their dues for the MSMEs itself will be a very big relief. And in the budget, we've made it mandatory now for CPSEs to get onto TREADS platform. So we're also providing professional support for these MSMEs through corporate mitras with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, the Cost Accountants of India, company secretaries. We are creating corporate mitras who will go through a process of learning, who in turn can help MSMEs to help with such issues which need professional assistance. So additionally, of course, customs duty exemptions have been provided for critical minerals like lithium and cobalt, and capital goods for manufacturing of lithium ion cells, nuclear energy, aeroplanes, and so on. We'll also be developing an integrated East Coast industrial corridor so that the eastern region will benefit by getting greater connectivity with the rest of the country. And a node will be set up, we said, in Durgapur. So these steps actually mentioned in the budget is a proof that our resolve to build a resilient and self-reliant India, not just by talking, but by putting money and planning for the next several years. So in this, I wish to emphasize that this is the Council of States. I urge all parties and honorable members to encourage their respective state governments to participate actively in these schemes which are announced, many of which will operate in a challenge mode. So the sooner they come with an exhaustive planning, looking at all the filters which prevail in the PM Gati Shakti, what will be the footfall, what kind of connectivity it has, where are the railway stations or ports connecting these areas and so on. If the filters are looked into and any state comes up for these mega schemes which we have announced, they can stand to benefit. So that is one of the reasons we have chosen not to mention the names of the states for these particular mega announcements. Any state can qualify and come and in the challenge mode benefit from it. Sir, since I'd rather get to answering members and their issues, I'm not going to talk about the receipts and the expenditure. One point that I would certainly want to highlight is whilst gross receipts, non-tax receipts are all mentioned in the budget speech itself, banking and credit availability in order that industries can grow has also seen a considerable growth. The total credit has expanded by 13.8% in the current financial year. That is, as of 15th January 2026, for the year ending 31st March 2026. The non-food bank credit has grown 13%, and the non-bank credit, that is the NBFCs, has also shown a growth of 15.4% in the same period. So the high-level Committee on Banking for Vikasit Bharat will comprehensively review the banking sector and align it with the next phase of growth for India. So, sir, therefore, without getting into the details, once again, since they are all seen in the budget speech itself and the budget documents are available, I would seek your indulgence and start responding to the points which members have raised. Sir, central government is slashing funds allocated for various schemes and therefore is able to maintain the fiscal deficit number as given. So several prominent speakers who spoke about slashing of funds at the revised its estimate stage. So leading them to conclude that public finance is not managed well, or it's a deliberate attempt, I would think, to mislead the House. It's not right to say, sir, that we have slashed funds, and I will get into the specifics. Before I get into the specifics, I'll also give a bit of a background. In the past, sir, success was measured by how much money was pushed out of the treasury, regardless of whether it was actually being spent or not. Money is allocated, money is given, it's gone there, it's lying there, whatever be the outcome. Thousands of crores kept lying idle in the bank accounts of implementing agencies. At the state government or while the central government, sometimes you borrowed money, you gave it, and we are paying interest on it. So it also created a huge float in the banking system. So clearly, a glaring need for reforms in that aspect was before all of us. So through the public finance management system, the single nodal agency, SNA Sparsh as we call it, we have now absolute visibility of where the money goes, where it remains, where it gets spent, where it doesn't get spent, and where it is lying idle. We have a clear visibility. And equally, this system has given us the advantage that just in time we can release for the state which wants the money for that particular purpose, and that will be based on the state's own share which is getting spent. So the state put their own share and spend the earlier installments given by the center, after which the funds under the scheme are released further to them. So strictly the money goes when it is required and gets utilized, and on getting utilized, the second tranche goes, and so on. So, sir, we do not blindly release more just because we need to book expenditure. We do not do that. We ensure that the money is released only when the ground level work demands it. And on that, the state and the center can have a conversation, and if it requires, we will release. So I would like to categorically state that there is no denial or stopping of fund to any state or any scheme. So, through the SNA Sparsh, therefore, we have created a system which is we have installed such smart staff fixed by the leaky pipes. Fix the.
Please, my dear, let her complete her speech. Please, my dear.
This isn't slashing expenditure.
Please,
it's
my dear.
efficient and accountable governance. It's an assurance to the taxpayer that every rupee is accounted for. It's an assurance to the taxpayer, I repeat, that every rupee is accounted for. Sir, and therefore, I'm not just talking here.
Please take your seat. Every time you cannot disturb the house like this, please take your seat.
I have introduced a new
Nothing will go on record except the finance minister's speech.
I have introduced a new statement 4AA in the expenditure profile, which shows fund balance under single nodal agency account.
He will reply all your questions. Please take your seat.
In respect of centrally sponsored schemes. So, sir, the center's funds are not a free pool of cash that can be used. It is hard-earned contribution of every Indian citizen. We refuse to squander this money simply to meet a deadline. We refuse to squander this
Please
money
take your seat.
just because we have to meet a deadline. There is a very transparent process and we go by that. The change in the allocations of budget estimates and revised estimates is a standard, transparent and healthy practice, which is not new to us, it's been there always. Sir, I think sometimes we have to get to some of the details. There's a poor history for whatever reason. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but poor history for accounting or not spending fully, particularly in social sector schemes. And that becomes a very big issue when we have to talk about it. What are the causes, sir, for underspending? Policy paralysis, disdain for governance, poor policy planning and execution. So large unspent funds remain there, particularly in the social sectors, its schemes, and I will now compare our 10 years with the earlier 10 years also. There can always be an observation saying, okay, now you have 10 years, why can't you? We are improving, but 10-year patch of the earlier government, look at the amount of unspent amount. Sir, 14 major social and rural sector ministries. I've taken them, 14 major social and rural sector ministries, compared 2004 to 14 with 2014 to 24. Because the concern comes about unspent money, you are remaining without spending, you're crunching that, and therefore you're having fiscal discipline, fiscal deficit number achieved. No, I want to tell you that between 2004 and 14, in these 14 major social and rural sectors, 94,060 crore of budget expenditure was left unspent during the UPA era. 94,060 crores. Now, between 2014 and 2024, that has drastically come down to 1%, meaning 37,064 crores is all that is left unspent in these 10 years. So when 94,060 crores of budget was left unspent, it made up for 6.4% cumulative budget estimate, whereas here it is just 1%. Under NDA, Prime Minister Modi's government, only 1% in these social sectors are remaining unspent. I want to place these data because it's important. Why? Just as questions are being asked about these monies are remaining unspent, you're crunching this number and therefore fiscal discipline, equally, the very same people would ask about, what's your debt? Why is it growing? Why are you borrowing so much? I find पारस्परिक विरोधाभास है इसमें. खर्च नहीं करोगे और खर्च हम ज्यादा कर रहे हैं मगर खर्च नहीं किया, और इधर बोल रहे हैं नहीं खर्च करो उधर मगर बोरोइंग क्यों बढ़ रहा है? बोरोइंग बढ़ेगा जब कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर बढ़ना चाहिए क्योंकि एसेट क्रिएट कर रही है. So this mutual contradiction has to be resolved by people who are asking this question. So, Congress sheds crocodile tears about rising debt. Sir, you want us to borrow more money and release funds also to the states? I want to say this, sir. Government cannot borrow excessively. That's a principle which guides us. The Congress is obsessed about outlays. कितना outlay? इसमें कितना दिया? मगर हम तो मांग रहे हैं कि पैसा भी देंगे मगर आउटकम भी दिखाओ. सो कांग्रेस को खर्च के फिक्र है, हमें नतीजों का फिक्र है. Naysayers, of course, will say, oh, this budget is parsimonious. Not at all. If you are conscious of the penny or the rupee, the paisa that you're collecting from an Indian citizen and wanting outcomes, you will have to be careful about how monies go, when they go, how much goes. And that is exactly the principle with which the prudential public finance management, which Prime Minister Modi guides us, is be sure that my money is not lying idle somewhere. You should know why it is lying idle, get the outcomes there. So that is the route with which we are going, sir, so that the zamana of 15 paisa only goes out of that money which is being sent to the state, वो चला गया. मोदी जी के समय पर हर पैसा जो जाना है वो जाएगा. इसीलिए 2014 से more than 48 lakh crores have been spent on various or have been sent directly through DBT to various beneficiaries. And because it is DBT, we have saved an estimated 4.31 lakh crores from falling into wrongful hands. That saving is very clearly paisa not being allowed to go to hands which don't have a right to receive that money. That is possible only because we have made the entire process digital and transparent. So 48 lakh crores have gone to people who need to get it, and that's not a small achievement, sir. Technology has helped us, I should concede that. So Congress party announces big, spend blindly without even accountability, without any accountability, borrow more and ruin the fiscal discipline, which is not the story under Prime Minister Modi's leadership. Fiscal discipline equally without giving attention to people who need those welfare projects. I will repeat that one particular scheme through which this argument holds validity. Oil bond issue, sir, which was created during the UPA time. We will be paying that even now. We are repaying it even now. My grievance with oil bonds, sir, is that it was never reported in their budget. कुछ और नहीं है, बॉन्ड रेस करना है, रेस करो, तो क्यों बजट में बोला नहीं है? उसको क्यों कारपेट के अंडर पुश करके छोड़ दिए? वो है. इसीलिए the basic principle of responsible budget making is something which we have steadily, and I'll tell you in a bit, how every year we've brought in greater transparency in our budget making process. Sir, another allegation is schemes have been announced without any budgetary allocation. Announce karte ja rahi ho, uska paisa nahi de rahi ho. So I want to say, sir, budget speeches give a policy directive also, other than announcing schemes, or it may announce schemes with allocation, and sometimes it may allocate resources a bit later. So announcing schemes without allocation itself is not saying the truth, complete truth. I would like to say, sir, the number of instances when budget speeches earlier made had announcements with no allocation. But before I go into that, I will like to elaborate on, in this budget, 16 new schemes have been announced with allocation. 16 new. I can leave the list on the table, sir, with your permission, for any member who wants to see. 16 new schemes with allocation, and 4 schemes where existing schemes have been given top-up amounts as well. So 20 schemes with allocation, new ones 16, and 4 existing getting top-ups. But the earlier examples of UPA, where budgetary announcements were made, no allocation were made, that wasn't criticized worthy at that time, but when we do it, it's criticized worthy. But I see budget documents as, budget speeches as much more than just giving schemes and allocation. They are also setting the direction. 2005-06 budgets, sir, UPA governments. Manufacturing competitiveness program was announced as a new scheme with no financial outlay. Skills development initiative in the same budget was announced, no financial outlay. Mumbai as a regional financial center was announced in the same budget, no outlay. National Institute of Securities Market. It's a policy directive, and I can recognize that that's not a scheme in that sense. It was a policy directive given to a regulator saying, set up your own Institute of Securities Market. And that was only right. You couldn't have allocated anything. So, several announcements without outlay, sir, but no, it is sin when we do it. Tea industry regeneration. I want to say this now very clearly because I quote this from the 2005-06 budget. But मैं जरूर इसको बताना चाह रही हूं क्योंकि वेस्ट बंगाल में चुनाव है, असम में चुनाव है. मैं बात बोल रही हूं 2005-06 में टी सेक्टर के लिए कुछ अनाउंसमेंट हुआ. टी इंडस्ट्री का रिजुविनेशन के लिए टू फाइंड एंड उसके लिए वो सेक्टर क्राइसिस में है. सो गवर्नमेंट वुड, मैं कोट कर रही हूं उधर, would examine ways and means of introducing a program for massive replantation, unquote. कोई बजटरी एलोकेशन नहीं था उस समय. वो ठीक है, मगर इधर एक आध स्कीम का अनाउंसमेंट हुआ क्योंकि उसमें कारण है, मैं कारण भी बताऊंगी, मगर वो गलत है. ये क्रिटिसिज्म हमारे ऊपर डालने से पहले कम से कम उनके अपने बजट ही देख लें. Please have a look at the budgets which you have announced, in which many schemes went about without any allocation. 2012-13 UPA budget, sir. Credit guarantee fund for education loans. No financial outlay. And that was setting up a fund for ensuring a better credit flow to students who wanted to take money. No outlay. Credit guarantee fund for skill development. Again, 2012-13 budget, no monetary allocation. National Mission on Food Processing, no financial outlay, even in that 2012-13 budget. Irrigation and Water Resource Finance Company का घोषणा हो रही है, मगर उसका भी allocation कुछ भी नहीं बोला गया. ये सब ठीक है, मगर हमारे यहाँ जहां 20 स्कीम्स का अलोकेशन के साथ घोषणा होती है, एक आध में जानबूझ करके अलोकेशन नहीं है. मैं कारण बताऊंगी, मगर वो गलत है. एक कैसे क्रिटिसिज्म हो सकता है सर? वन मोर सिमिलरली यूपीए बजट 2011-12 नेशनल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग पॉलिसी अनाउंस किए हैं. मालूम है कि पॉलिसी है वो, फिर भी 2014 तक, क्योंकि 11-12 के बजट है, 14 तक उसमें कोई कुछ एलोकेशन नहीं है, कोई कुछ ग्राउंड लेवल में काम दिखे नहीं, मगर हो गया अनाउंसमेंट विदाउट एनी एलोकेशन. वो ठीक है. सो क्रिटिसिज्म करने से पहले थोड़े सोचना चाहिए कि ये क्रिटिसिज्म, जैसे बोलते हैं, यू पॉइंट वन फिंगर दैट साइड, 3 पॉइंट्स एट यू. ये तो कम से कम समझ में लेना चाहिए, आना चाहिए. सर, क्यों हम, उनके सरकार हो, हमारे सरकार हो, क्यों बजट में अनाउंसमेंट करते हैं बिना अलोकेशन? इसका भी हम महत्व समझना चाहिए. इन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द हाउस एंड अदर लार्जर citizens who watch, I would like to state why union budget is more than just an accounting statement or allocation exercise. Very often, budget speeches set the policy roadmap for the government. Often, the government wants also to signal a shift in strategic priorities. So, announcing the scheme in the budget speech establishes that executive intent. सरकार की इंटेंट एस्टैब्लिश हो जाता है. फिर at an appropriate time, after proper vetting and clearing of by the competent authorities, the allocation will come through. In many cases, sir, the schemes get announced with some token allocation, 1 crore, 10 crore, 100 crore, depending on the scheme. Then a head of account is created in the ledger. उसके बाद ही उसका major allocation का announcement होता है. It can happen during supplementary demand for grants later in that year. Sometimes a scheme is announced, but it requires an enabling legislation. So legislation पारित होने तक हम इंतजार करते हैं, इसमें allocation नहीं देते. So I'm sorry, many of the वरिष्ठ members know all this. फिर भी क्योंकि ऑपोजिशन में बैठे हैं और क्रिटिसिज्म तो सरकार के खिलाफ करना है, सो हम करेंगे. एवरी पर्सन even remotely associated with the finance ministry understands all this. But I was surprised to hear it. Sir, also, there was this a bit patronizing comment, if I may be allowed to say it. The budget is forgetful of the past. Budget is never forgetful of the past, at least because those which we don't need to copy, I will never be forgetful of the past. Sir, glorious past hai to cherish it forever. Remember it every time. Every time you make a budget, remember it. But if it is a tarnished past, मैं तो संभाल कर रहना चाहती हूँ, उस पास्ट से सीखना चाहती हूँ, गलती ना करें. So we don't forget. This budget is not forgetful of past. It remembers the fragile 5 days. It remembers the double-digit inflation days. It remembers the policy paralysis and also the scam-filled days. It remembers banks were forced to lend just with a phone call without doing any KYC or anything of that kind. Deficits were kept high and spending on capex was reduced. So, shrinking opportunities, and उस समय का नारा ये था jobless growth. मैं जरूर ये सबको ध्यान में रखूंगी, forget नहीं करती हूँ past को, मगर उसे सीखने लायक विषय ही सीखती. Of course, I don't need to elaborate about the even earlier license quota Raj, how that economy had to be changed and so on. इसीलिए 2014 में ना करते हुए 10 साल के बाद हमारी सरकार व्हाइट पेपर ले आई on the Indian economy, and it was laid in this house in February 2024. So past को forget करना impossible है. So now I want to just say, I'm not sure how to take this. Former FM P. Chidambaram ji, in 2023, addressing the audience in a media conclave, had said that he credited the BJP-led NDA government for its single-minded focus on containing the deficit and on debt management. He said it in 2023. And today, in 2026, that circumstance which he took into consideration and gave this comment has actually only improved. It is actually only improved. So there's no way that comment which was given in 2023 can be changed. If anything, appreciation will have to be more. But today, we find that you're finding fault with our debt management. It doesn't add up. So then, I move on to talking about, again, debt to GDP, which was raised by, I can't see the honorable member, Raghav Chadda. So, this is not a new change, sir. When we are focusing on debt to GDP, it's not a new target. There was an amendment done in 2018 to the FRBM Act. In that itself, that change was brought in. So I just want to inform the member that if he had not noticed it then, it's worth noticing that it is not new. Also, sir, the point that the middle class is being sandwiched was raised. I'm sure many honorable members thought they had some common cause with that allegation which was being made. I want to very clearly bring the data out to say the conclusion that the middle class was being sandwiched was being made because personal income tax collections exceeded the corporate tax. That is fundamentally misdiagnosing the situation. There's no evidence of middle class suppression. Actually, there is enough and more evidence of historic middle class expansion and formalization driven by the economic reforms that have been undertaken in the last 10 years. high personal income tax collection is not necessarily middle class being crushed. I'll give you the reasons why. There are more people today with income that is taxable. More income is visible and in the formal sector, and it is being reported. So the economy is no longer narrow, and it's not just confined to the elite. Middle class basket is widening. Between 2013-14 and 24-25, the number of taxpayers, that is, people filing returns or with TDS deducted, rose from 5.26 crore to 12.13 crores. So within the last 11 years, more than doubling has happened in the income taxpayers' numbers. So obviously you learn more from it. And what is the growth therefore, sir? CAGR of 7.9%. So that is the largest structural expansion of the middle class in this country. So suppression cannot happen if the tax net is widening, and if the net itself is widening, it's not because of suppression. People are coming on board to pay. And coming on board to pay, not because we are bringing more rates. On the contrary, even as this expansion is happening, income tax limit has increased to 12 lakhs for everybody, and for those in salaried class, 12.75 lakhs tak आपको tax pay करना ही नहीं है. So suppression का बात कहाँ आती है सर? अगर 12.76 लाख तक salaried class को tax ही pay करना नहीं है, कहाँ है suppression? Second, standard deduction has also been enhanced. New tax regime has simplified filing and due diligence करने वाले काम को भी simplify कर दिया. Next generation GST rationalization has also lowered household costs. उनके monthly खर्च कम हो रही है क्योंकि GST में हर item का rate कम हो गया है. Inflation also is at a historical low. So somewhere middle class के ऊपर ये शब्द suppressed cannot coexist with real incomes rising and with record low inflation. And there is an upward mobility of workforce as well. So ये थोड़ा मुझे समझने के लिए fact रख रही हूँ sir. So I move to Honorable Member Wilson. He said, rising debt again, itna debt, it's not good. So I just want to highlight the fact, sir. The principle is one, we have to take care of reducing debt, whichever be center or state or everybody. And in this, not a member of this house, but with your indulgence, I like to quote the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Edappadi Palaniswamy Avargal. He said, and I quote, "For 73 years, successive governments in Tamil Nadu accumulated roughly 5 lakh crores in total debt." 73 years it took 5 lakh crores to be accumulated. But in just 4 years under the DMK government, since 2021, 4.56 lakh crores have been added to this pile. 73 வருஷத்துல பண்ண அந்த அமௌண்ட 4 வருஷத்துல பண்ண கணத்தை இவங்களுக்கு போகும். சோ அது தமிழ்நாடு ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்டோட borrowing ஜாஸ்தி ஆயிட்டே போலாம். ஆனா சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட் is just giving a reply to you. You made it. Let lobby our
Sir, we are listening to her very quietly. She is also talking whatever she wants to tell us. She is giving advice. We'll take her. But the Tamil Nadu government has committed nearly 4 lakhs crore debt Earlier it was like that. Are you speaking on Tamil Nadu budget or Indian government budget? This is not fair because election is there. Because election is there and AIDDMK
No, only 1 minute.
leaders court C is doing it.
Only 1
Outside
minute.
speech, who is nothing to do with this house. This is unfair, and I condemn
He is
such.
giving an answer to a question raised by a member of this house. Please. Tamidaraji, please take your seat. Tamidaraji, please take your seat. Tamidaraji, please take your seat. Please take your seat, all members. Please.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Sir, when you stand up to answer criticisms, you will bring in facts. Sometimes facts can be very difficult to digest, but I will state it because they are facts. Okay, sir?
No. Why you are having word? She is quoting on quotation only. Please, Tamidaraji.
Sir,
Nothing will go on record. Please, Tamidaraji, please, my dear. Except finance minister's reply, nothing will go on record.
please sit down.
Please, all of you, please take your seat.
Sir, with your permission. Yes. Since John Brittaji is saying something, on that specific point, I want to answer him, sir. Honorable member Tambidurai, senior member, who's been, deputy speaker in Lok Sabha, has said something, I value it. But you think it's because we are in alliance. What is Dr. Shri Mallikarjun Ji Kharge standing up for DMK then? Is it not also alliance? So that's okay. This is not. What is that? John Britta's? Keep off. So for all of you, don't you say that here. Don't you say that here.
Brittaji, for all of you, our opposition leader has given the answer. Please,
Yes,
Brittaji.
that's all right. I take it. The
Honorable
more
Minister, please address to me.
Sir, Chairman, sir,
Nothing will go on record except
Sir,
the
sir.
finance minister's reply. Please,
due
Brittaji,
respect
please,
to
Brittaji.
the LOP, the moment he stood up, I sat down to hear his view. So I respect it. But if there are insinuations that because they are in coalition, we are speaking, that is also coalition, sir. Oh yeah, that's also in doubt now. Oh, that's also in doubt now. Oh, John Britas, that is in doubt. I correct my statement because Congress is not sure whether they have to be with DMK or not.
Finance Minister,
Okay, and in Kerala too, you
Honorable Finance Minister, please address to me, please.
Sorry.
Tamidaraji, you please take your seat. All of you, please take your seat. Please.
Sir, now I'll specifically answer Kanimuri NVN Somu, who's an honorable lady member of the House. She said,
No.
Sir.
Sirajinji, you please take your seat. She is replying to another member's speech. Let her reply.
Honorable member Kanimuri had raised, Tamil Nadu there's nothing for Tamil Nadu in this budget. Sir, I just want to mention what is in this budget and maybe answer her question. So, what did Tamil Nadu get? High-speed rail. Chennai is a major node with 2 high-speed corridors. Hyderabad to Chennai, Chennai to Bengaluru. Second, sir, rare earth corridor. Tamil Nadu is explicitly named for a dedicated rare earth corridor. And if I may add, the only state to have 2 corridors, defense corridor, rare earth corridor as well. Third, Adichanallur Heritage Development is selected among 15 sites for experiential heritage development with conservation labs and curated public access. Fourth, ecotourism trails. Budget has announced bird watching trail in Pulikat Lake and mountain trails in Podigai Malai, both of which in Tamil Nadu. 5, coconut promotion scheme which will replace old and non-productive trees with high-yielding saplings in major growing states, inclusive of Tamil Nadu. 6, of course, Kerala.
Honorable Tamil Nadu is being...
Sir,
No, I want to ask you one thing. You don't want the coconut grower to get permitted. You remove it. No, please take your seat. Why you are interfering? Let every coconut farmer get the benefit of the please.
First listen to Tamil Nadu.
Finance Minister, please. Finance Minister, please address to me.
sir.
Please address to me.
Fisheries, duty-free high seas fishing and tripled duty-free input limits, 1% to 3% for seafood processing, boosting coastal Tamil Nadu incomes and exports. Other than that, sir, this is the 6th item. 7th, textiles, modernization and employment program under Samarth Plus, Samarth 2.0, skilling for Tirupur, Coimbatore garment clusters is not for Tamil Nadu. 8, leather and footwear, duty-free inputs extended to shoe uppers and export window extended from 6 months to 1 year. Import something duty-free, do your work, export it not within 6 months, export it even after 6 months till 1 whole year. That will give comfort to small manufacturers. So leather, and that will directly cut costs for units, small units, which are in Ambur, Vaniambadi and Chennai. That's not Tamil Nadu, sir. Then, automobile and electrical vehicles, customs exemption on capital goods for lithium-ion cells, critical mineral processing, strengthening Chennai-Hosur EV ecosystem. And the 10th, sir, girls' hostel. 1 hostel per district. 38 hostels can be built in Tamil Nadu. That's not for Tamil Nadu, sir. And even better. And even more. And even more. Sir, when we said city economic regions, where we are giving from Government of India 5,000 crore per city economic region for 5 years, 1,000 crore per year. Tamil Nadu's urban agglomerations like Chennai, Coimbatore, Madurai can all be contenders for it. They can be, sir. B, you asked for it.
No.
B,
Minister, please address to me.
yes, sir. Sorry.
Yes.
Regional medical hubs. India's healthcare capital, everybody claims, I also accept it. Chennai is well placed to secure one of the 5 medical hubs that we want to establish for care, education, research, and for Ayush. They can have a medical hub. Similarly, university townships, sir, Tamil Nadu can bid along CBIC, that is a Chennai-Bengaluru corridor, or the East Coast corridor, which goes Chennai to Kanyakumari. Have a university township or a chemical park. 3 plug-and-play parks can be aspired for. Manali, Kadalur are all places where chemical industries are located. So are these not for Tamil Nadu, sir? Sir,
Tamil Nadu MP should thank Finance Minister now.
sir, health. There are several members. I'll name some of them. Randeep Surjewala ji, Ashok Mittal ji, Rajiv Shukla ji, a lot of them mentioned. Heal in India is something which we announced several budgets ago, and we continue to build on that. Now 26-27 budget strengthens the entire health value chain. Healthcare infrastructure is being improved. NIMHANS is a very reputed institution in Bengaluru. We want to build one such an institution somewhere in the north. And whichever state wants to bid again can aspire to have it. Other than that, the institution which exists in Ranchi will be upgraded. Other than that, the institution which exists in Tezpur, both of them will be made regional apex centers. So we're improving on the infrastructure. Also, we are expanding by 50% the emergency and trauma care capacity in the district hospital level all over India. For the district hospital, emergency and trauma care is being improved by 50%. Also, sir, the workforce pipeline will be expanded decisively because 1 lakh additional allied health professionals for the next 5 years will be created, and they will be serving within India or find jobs anywhere else as well, but they will be qualified. 4, a care system, a care ecosystem is also being carefully nurtured. 1.5 lakh caregivers for elderly, for wellness, and for medical device operations are being readied. This year itself, they will be available as skilled caregivers. So other than this, 1,000 crore for allied health professionals is also being allocated in this budget. More than that, the medical value tourism, 5 regional medical and integrated hub is being planned. It will combine hospitals, education, research, diagnostics, and Ayush facilities. All of them will be available in that large hub. So India wants to position itself as a healthcare destination. Other than this, the 7th point on healthcare, on health sector, Biopharma Shakti, 10,000 crore mission is being created with 10,000 crores being provided. And that will take care of getting biologics and biosimilars, particularly for diseases like cancer, diabetes, chronic diseases, life-threatening diseases, and so on. This will be supported by 3 new and upgraded NIPERs, which is the National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research. Already there are 7 NIPERs in this country. We will be adding 3 more to them. A national network of 1,000 accredited clinical trial sites will also be established so that science-based approvals can be given for tests that they do. So that is also for health, sir. And the 10th point that I want to say is full customs duty exemption for 17 cancer drugs have been given. Inclusion of 7 additional rare disease have also been made so that duty-free medicines can be brought for them. Reduction of TCS on medical treatments, treatment remittances which go out of this country through the LRS. People send money because they have to go get treatment. For that also the TCS has been brought down from 5% to 2%. Then 11th point for healthcare. 3 new All India Institutes of Ayurveda will be set up in this country. Upgraded drug testing labs, expanded evidence-based research will all happen. The WHO recognized traditional medicine center at which is also going to be expanded. Other than that, sir, for Divyangjan, for assistive healthcare, we have made assistive technology marts from where they can easily take equipments which they need for ease of living, and we have enhanced the capacity of Alimco, which produces such assistive devices for the young gen and for senior citizens. So finally, allocations, sir. Department of Health Research sees a significant jump, 4,821 crore, which is a 23% increase is being allocated. 4,200 crores is being given for PM Abhim, which actually is for improving health infrastructure in the states. So that also goes towards state. It is not being kept here. We recognize that health is a state subject, but despite that, we will enable them to improve on the health infrastructure. Sir, the next one, sir. The poor, there is
Please,
high
please,
inflation. There's this,
please,
there is this claim oh, there's high inflation and therefore common citizens are suffering. I want to highlight the facts, sir, basic facts. Inflation is at a historic low, even though growth is at a high. There is no inflation crisis in India today. Inflation has been tamed, anchored due to stability and the steps taken by the government. Retail inflation has actually been on a downward trajectory from 6.7% in FY23. It has come to 1.7 in FY26. I want to highlight the fact that there will be a new CPI basket and announcement being made by the MOSPI soon. That will be updated. Consumer price index will be determined on that based on a new base year. But in the current series, based on that 2012 base year, sir, which on the basis of which data has been released from January 2015, clear 10 years in this data cycle of the CPI, the inflation has never been lower than this 2011-12 base year. उसमें 2012 का number को 100 मानते हुए, if you go on calculating after that, 2015 से वो data भी बाहर आ रही है. 2015 से लेकर 25 तक इससे कम कभी inflation नहीं हुआ करता था. It was never low as much as it is today. So people who are saying high inflation, it's hurting people, kindly look at the data. And just want to compare it with advanced economies, sir. UK is at 3.4%. US is about 2.7%. Many emerging markets have not seen this kind of a number. So India is actually maintaining its inflation low, not by chance. It is actually a strategy. I want to clearly tell that we have made sure not just blunt monetary tools, but we have a calibrated mix of fiscal policy, trade policy, and also supply side interventions that we've made over and over again, as a result of which today inflation is where it is. Just for example to say that there are conscious efforts taken by the government which is resulting in inflation being low. Dynamic duty management. When edible prices go up, we make sure that the basic customs duty is brought down proactively, so that, take the example of June 2025, sir, it was reduced to 10%, as a result of which immediately we could get some edible oil and make sure the market didn't suffer for want of edible oil. So when at the same time, in case the price comes down too much, that our farmers might get affected, we quickly go in and raise it so that farmers don't get affected. So dynamically managing duty on commodities which can come into the country. Second, actively maintaining a buffer stock so that as and when the prices are likely to go up, we release the stock and calm the prices down. This is actually validated by data in the last 4-5 years. We also have made sure that railways will make sure logistics is provided for edible items which have to move to different parts of the country at a lower price. Every commodity going on the road with diesel costs and truck and logistics delay might increase the price. So we have ensured that railways will be the route through which many of these goods will move to different parts of the country. So that's also part of the dynamic management. Third, sir, GST rate rationalization at one go in September 2025. I will thank the GST Council. Unanimously, the rates were brought down for across the board to all common man items. And the fourth, sir, we give support to agriculture. India recorded a historic cereal production of 3,320 lakh tons in 24-25. So when our annadata are producing and giving, we are able to also make sure that the prices come down.
No, announcement come morning. No.
Sir, inflation control thereby inflation control has been completely, because of the dynamic system with which we are working in tandem with the RBI, it is being kept below the tolerance band. Sir, employment and unemployment has also been discussed. I would like to place the facts, sir. Indian labor market is undergoing a structural transformation with record low unemployment. India's unemployment rate has actually fallen structurally, you can see it, from 5.6% in 2017-18 to 3.2% in 23-24. It's actually unemployment has come down. The economy is actively absorbing labor. In Q2 of financial year 26, which is the current year, sir, 56.2 crore people were employed. Just in this one quarter, 56.2 crore people have been employed. 8.7 lakh net new jobs have been created in just 3 months. So, the annual survey of industries
She will come every point. Please take your seat. Please let her take her water. Please you take your seat. Please address to the chair.
Sir, annual survey of industries records a 6% year-on-year increase in manufacturing sector employment, adding over 10 lakh organized sector jobs in a single year. Importantly, the job quality is also improving. Large factories, which is 100 plus workers, jisme hai, large factories, nearly doubled in the last decade, and their growth is 6% CAGR. So it clearly shows that there is more stable and higher productivity with better paid jobs. Sir, also, the total estimated employment in the formal manufacturing sector showed a robust growth, 5.92% in 23-24 over the previous year, 22-23. More importantly, sir, I'm sure members will be happy, the female workforce participation has also nearly doubled from 23.3% in 2017-18 to 41.7% in 23-24. 26.2% of proprietary establishments are now female-headed, with manufacturing leading this shift. So, economy where women are entering workforce and entrepreneurship at this scale, sir, cannot be an economy without jobs. Growth without jobs was the UPA era story, not now. Sir, gig economy is also expanding. I don't need to highlight that. I'm sure all the members are conscious. The gig economy expanded by 55% from 77 lakh workers in 21, the financial year 21, 120 lakh in FY25. So, e-Shram portal, over 31 crore unorganized workers have been registered January 2026. So all of them are also getting covered under Social Security. 54% of these registrants are women. So I have more to say on skilling, labor codes and they think I will hold on there, sir, because there are few more particular questions. Entertainment industry. Honorable Member Jaya Bachchanji had asked this question. I want to say there is nothing in this budget for the entertainment industry. I'm very sorry to say, sir, she's a senior member. That's not right. this budget actually has entertainment. Actually, one of the earlier announcement also that sustained work attention has been given. We treat the industry, we treat that sector as an industry, and the budget recognizes AVCGC, animation, visual effects, gaming and comics, and the content creation economy as a growth engine. And as a result, support has been announced. Indian Institute of Creative Technologies, which is in Mumbai, will now help in skilling and creating content creator labs in 15,000 schools across the country. 500 colleges will also have it. 2 million professionals will be created by the year 2030, because that will be the requirement of that sector also. Now, content creating is not what we commonly hear, oh, he's a content creator for social media. No, it is a highly skilled effort where art, drawing, and also storytelling all become part of the digital world, and they have to create it for the digital universe. So it's a highly expertise-based sector, sir. So that actually has been announced. So that will feed into VFX, gaming, OTT, animation, post-production, and design. That's the backbone of the entertainment industry. So that's what we are doing. Other than that, the budget creates new monetizable work for these creators. The National Destination Digital Knowledge Grid is also designed to document cultural and heritage sites, is explicitly generating jobs for these filmmakers, digital storytellers, editors, animators, and researchers. So we are not just doing any token gesture and the resource allocation. A new National Institute of Design is also being announced. There is skill shortage in the production of design, costumes, sets, and visual aesthetics. We need people who need to be trained in these areas as well. So the biggest intervention, other than what has been announced in the budget, biggest intervention other than what is being announced in the budget is when we held Waves 2025. Waves was a global industry platform. Over 90 countries participated in it. 10,000 plus delegates were there. 1,000 creators were there. More than 300 companies were there which participated in it. And 350 plus startups and nearly 1 lakh footfall was seen in that event. So are these not efforts towards entertainment industry, sir? I want to inform.
Okay, please address to the chair.
So this orange economy concept itself, which we brought in, are all aimed at the entertainment industry. So I want the honorable member to take cognizance of these announcements.
See, are you yielding for Jaya Bachchan ji?
आराम से
Please.
सर, अगर आप जो मैंने कहा उसको अगर ठीक से पढ़े, आपने बहुत अच्छा जवाब दिया. You're a great storyteller, ma'am. Congratulations. For us, great entertainment. But I have also talked about tickets. देखिए, मैं चुपचाप खड़ी थी, आप लोग don't do this. Sir, you get the house in order.
You please address.
I spoke about the entertainment tax. I spoke about tickets. What about this? I'm not talking about institutes of design. I'm talking about the industry, entertainment industry. We are some of the highest tax-paying individuals of this country.
Okay, please take your seat.
What?
No. Mister, we have to go for another. Another business is waiting.
Sir, I thought I have quoted the honorable member's observation when she said, let me finish now.
You please address to me.
Now that you asked something more, I have to...
Honorable Minister, please address to the chair. Honorable Minister, please address to the chair because another legislative
I
business is there.
understand,
Please,
sir, but
please.
I have to do justice.
You
Therefore,
please address to the chair.
Sir, I want to highlight the fact, sir. I have not finished because there was new question asked, and I will have to answer that as well. Sorry.